Hi everyone, welcome back. Check this out. Same limiter plugin, same limiter settings, same track, same overall level of the track, but different outputs. Now listen to the difference. The test with the secret sauce enabled sounds clean, loud, and it hits hard. While the one without it, same loudness on the meter, but it sounds squashed, distorted, and weak. Now the question is, why is that happening? In this video, I'm going to share the secret approach pros use to achieve loud mixes and masters without destroying their audio. And that secret is going to lead us straight to a free plugin every producer needs to know about. And I believe you are going to like this one. Before we even touch the plugin, you need to understand three things, because once you get this, everything else clicks. First, the limiter. Think of a limiter like a smart bodyguard. It sees a loud peak coming and it quickly turns the volume down for a split second, then brings it back up, smooth, controlled, safe. But push it too hard, everything starts sounding flat and lifeless. Second, the clipper. A clipper is like a pair of scissors. When a sound gets too loud, it chops the peak off. Snip, no smoothing, no gradual turn down, just cuts it flat. This makes your sound denser, heavier, louder, but at the same time it adds grit. Push it too hard and it sounds broken. Now the third, which is the wave shaper. A wave shaper is like a mold that blends your sound through a curve. A clipper is actually just one type of wave shaper, but wave shapers can do more than just a clipper. They can warm things up, add crunch, and completely transform the tone depending on the curve you choose. Alright, I believe you get it. Good. Because now you need to know which one does what it does, and more importantly, which order to use them in. Today we are checking out Pik Eater. It is a free wave shaper plugin by Vladislav Voinov. I hope I pronounced that right. And yes, it is completely free. VST3AU, LV2 clap, and works on Mac, Windows, and Linux, even native M1. Now let's quickly go through what this plugin gives you. 6 clipping types, which is the algorithm. You get hard, quintic, cubic, tangent, algebraic, and arctent. These are your modes, and some of them cut hard while some bend soft. This plugin gives up to 32x oversampling, and trust me, this is huge because without it, clipping creates ugly digital artifacts. High oversampling keeps everything clean. Another feature is the ceiling control. This particular feature sets exactly where you want the clipping to start. Now you can see the input, the output gain with a link button that helps you manipulate two of them at the same time. Next feature is the visualizer and the analyzer, as you can see, which actually allows you to see what is happening. Now you get the dry and wet mix that helps to blend the effect, which is the processed sound, in with the unprocessed sound. Now the plugin is resizable, as you can see on the interface, because small plugins are sometimes annoying, especially when you want to read the characters there. So this plugin is stable, not some buggy freebie. I actually tried it and it performed perfectly well. Now you can use this plugin to tame wild transients, add density to drums. You can also use it in making vocals sit heavier in the mix. Let's hear it in action, then I will show you where it gets interesting. Now that we've gotten a decent understanding of what this plugin is for, let's quickly have a sound demo to hear all these algorithms. And I'll be using a 1000 kHz sine wave to carry out this test. And sorry about that irritating sound. So you can clearly hear that the hard sounds sharp and punchy, and when you switch it to the Quintic, it's almost like the hard, but when you get to cubic and tangent and algebraic down to arctant, it starts sounding softer and smoother. So, as promised, here is the secret I talked about that the pros use to achieve that heavy, loud master without distortion. Here it is. In this approach is quite simple. All you need to do is to use clipper before your limiter, not after, before. And here is why. When you clip first, you cut off the sharpest, wildest peaks, the ones that make your limiter panic. And have in mind, clipper or wave shaper introduces density and weight to any material you're processing it with. So automatically, as you're controlling those peaks, as you're cutting them out, you are also adding density and weight to that material. Then your limiter gets a smoother, more controlled signal. And at this point, it can use gentler settings. You don't need to go too heavy or too hard. I mean, the limiter doesn't have to fight as hard. The results, you get a louder output, heavier, cleaner, without that squashed, lifeless sound. Let me show you. Alright guys, in a typical mastering session, there will be a lot of plugins loaded here, okay, before you get to your limiter, but I couldn't load my mastering chain because my laptop would not be able to handle that. If I load up the plugins, processing the sound, and at the same time screen recording, it will crash the laptop. So please do bear with me. But in your own session, the point is make sure to have your clipper before the limiter, like I said earlier. So first of all, I will set the clipper, and this is exactly how I do that. So I will play the track and set the ceiling, and while setting the ceiling, I will pay very close attention to the point where it starts to distort. Alright, I need that distortion so I can hear clearly the modes, the algorithms, the color they add to that material. So let's quickly do that. So for this track, hard worked for me, alright? But it might not be the same with the track you are trying it out with, okay? And remember to leave it at 32x oversampling. Then after that, once I'm done, I'll now call back this. It's important to use a very good headset so your judgment will be on point, just to the level where you will no longer hear that distortion. Okay, all right, let's say we've gotten that level. The next thing now is to introduce the limiter, and also have in mind that in a typical mastering session, there are other plugins that will be doing some other things like the stereo management, the dynamics, and things like that. So all those things put together, the peaks are already being controlled. So you will not need to do as much I did here. Okay, now before hitting the limiter. So before we even start boosting the volume, it's important to understand your limiter, how to set it. Now I'm going to show you a quick settings I normally use that works for me. First, I turn off the true peak limiting and come to the algorithm here. I set it to all round. Okay, now on the look ahead, in some cases I drive it just a little bit, but sometimes I don't like what it adds to the track. So for this, I turned it off. Now on the attack, depending on the track, sometimes I go off, which is 0, or a very slow attack. Now for the release, I set the release based on the attack. Okay, now for this channel linking for the stereo management, I turn it off. Now I put it to 16x oversampling, but due to my laptop, so I will be able to show you guys what is happening, I leave it at 4x, but it is advisable to use 16x. Okay, now I turn off the data, and importantly, to the ceiling I set it at -0.1. Then I set it to unity gain and auditioning. Why? I just want to hear while I am setting it. Now at this point, you can now clearly hear what you are doing. So let's check it out. So you can hear the amount of distortion coming in, the velocity it's adding. Now at this level, manipulating your attack, you can hear what is adding. You can see that taking the attack, making it slow, is allowing in much body of the track. So it all depends if that is what you want to achieve, but let me quickly show you. While setting it, I'm paying attention to the level, and this is where you now introduce your U-lane meter to check the integrated and short-term LUFS, or depending on the track you're working on. All right, watch on this visualizer what happens when I disable this clipper. You see it is working so hard. You see the length is too deep right now, but toggle it on, because the clipper is taking care of those excessive peaks before it hits your limiter. So that's basically it, but don't take it for what I'm saying. Try it out and let us know if you see it to be an approach worth adopting or not. And sorry about not showing you my full mastering chain and the process it goes before it hits the clipper and the limiter. So that's basically it. But before we conclude, I want to show you what I actually used in the introductory demo we had earlier. I actually used standard clip, which usually is my go-to, before I now met Pik Eater, which did amazingly well. So for those who are not familiar with standard clip, it's for clipping that most mixing and mastering professionals use. All right, so I'm showing you this so that I don't make a deceitful video. All right, so that is it for today's video. If you found this helpful, if you found this approach interesting, let us know in the comments below. And if you're coming across my channel for the very first time, subscribe, and most importantly, turn on your bell notification so that you don't miss out on the next video I'll be making or the future videos I'll be dropping. Please support my channel by using the affiliate links in the description if you want to get professional tools like plugins, hardwares from Plugin Boutique, WA Productions, and others. If you want to check out amazing free plugins I've covered on this channel, the video on the screen right now is a playlist and it covers a lot of free tools. Go there, who knows, you might find something interesting, and I will see you there. As always, stay creative, stay focused, and bye for now.